Today, across Canada, millions of seniors are waking up to headlines that feel more personal than any political speech, more urgent than any distant foreign crisis. Because for them, what's at stake is not just numbers on a government chart, but the rhythm of their lives, what goes on the dinner table, what prescriptions they can afford, whether the rent is paid on time, or whether sacrifices must be made yet again. The September pension payments, Canada Pension Plan, Old Age Security, and the Guaranteed Income Supplement, are not just financial transactions. They are, for many, the difference between stability and fear. And as the first week of September begins, a new chapter unfolds. Canadians are asking, when will the money arrive? How much will it be? And what changes, if any, are hidden within this month's schedule that could alter the lives of millions of seniors? The story of September's pension checks begins, as always, with a long chain of decisions made far away from the kitchen tables where the money is ultimately spent. In Ottawa, officials speak of policy frameworks, fiscal balances, and sustainability. But outside those marble halls, the reality is measured in grocery bags and utility bills. Inflation may have slowed compared to the shock of 2022 and 2023, but for seniors living on fixed incomes, every uptick in food or housing costs feels like a personal tax. This month, as Service Canada prepared its official notices, the anticipation grew sharper than usual. For September, the official payment schedule is said to unfold in three key waves. The first, Canada Pension Plan, or CPP, slated for release on Friday, September 27th. For many retirees who worked a lifetime in construction, teaching, nursing, or driving trucks across these vast provinces, CPP is their anchor. The average monthly amount hovers around $770, but the maximum for those who contributed consistently across their careers edges close to $1,450. Yet, as one senior in Winnipeg quietly noted, by the time I cover rent and medication, it feels like half of that disappears in a blink. Just days earlier, on Tuesday, September 24th, Old Age Security, the OAS, will roll out. This program touches nearly every Canadian over 65. For those aged 65 to 74, the payment is currently about $718 per month. Seniors over 75, after the government's increase introduced in recent years, receive closer to $790. To some, it's a blessing. To others, it still feels like Ottawa doesn't see the true cost of aging in Canada's cities, where rent for a modest one-bedroom can surpass $1,300 a month. And then there is the Guaranteed Income Supplement, the GIS, perhaps the least talked about but most vital lifeline. Paid on the same day as OAS, it is aimed at low-income seniors who would otherwise fall below the poverty line. For a single senior with virtually no other income, the maximum GIS benefit in September could approach $1,065. Together with OAS, that's just over $1,800 a month. Supporters of the program argue it has spared hundreds of thousands of Canadians from the indignity of poverty in their final years. But critics counter that even this combined amount often fails to keep up with real costs. As one retiree in Halifax remarked, "I never thought I'd be in my 70s choosing between fresh fruit and a bus pass." The sequence of payments in September is predictable, but its consequences are not. Across the country, grocery stores, landlords, and pharmacies quietly prepare for the surge of pension spending that happens like clockwork every month. Financial institutions note a distinct wave of deposits and withdrawals. Some families help their elderly parents manage these funds, ensuring bills are paid before any temptation to stretch for non-essentials. Others watch with worry as balances dwindle far too quickly. Behind these figures lies a deeper story. The generation now receiving these payments built the country's infrastructure, staffed its schools, and raised its families through eras of economic boom and recession alike. Many never imagined retirement would feel this fragile. And yet, stories surface daily of seniors cutting pills in half to make prescriptions last longer, or waiting until pension day to fill their fridge. For them, September's schedule is not just another month on the calendar, it is a countdown to relief. In Ottawa, the debate continues. Advocates for seniors press the government to expand benefits, arguing that Canada's aging population deserves not just survival but dignity. They point to the reality that seniors make up nearly one-fifth of the population, and by 2030, that figure will rise to almost one-quarter. Supporters of increased payments argue that without bold adjustments, the burden will fall unfairly on the shoulders of the very people who spent decades contributing to the system. But others, including some fiscal conservatives, caution against what they call unsustainable generosity. They warn that ballooning federal deficits, combined with the long-term costs of an aging society, could force younger generations into heavier tax burdens. They ask, how can the system endure if payments grow faster than the economy itself? Meanwhile, seniors themselves are caught in the middle of this argument, waiting for their deposits to arrive in their accounts. For September 2025, what remains certain is this. OAS and GIS are expected Tuesday, September 24th. CPP will follow Friday, September 27th. 3 days that may look ordinary on a calendar, but which carry extraordinary weight in millions of lives. Consider the case of Mary, a retired teacher in Vancouver. Her OAS and GIS combined give her roughly $1,700 per month. After paying $1,250 in rent, she has $450 left for groceries, utilities, and transportation. It's like being on a treadmill, she admits. I keep moving, but I'm not getting anywhere. For her, the September payment is less about planning for the future and more about surviving the present. Or take Jacques, a widowed pensioner in Quebec City. His CPP is stronger, nearly $1,200 per month, thanks to decades of full-time work. But when his furnace broke down last winter, he had to dip into credit to cover the cost. Retirement is supposed to mean peace, he says softly, but sometimes it feels like a gamble. And yet, despite these struggles, there is resilience. Across the country, communities rally around seniors, food banks step in, and advocacy groups continue to fight for reforms. This month's payments are not just numbers, they are reminders of what Canada owes its elders, and of the delicate balance between economics and humanity. So, what does September mean? It means stability, if only temporary, for millions who count down the days until these checks arrive. It means choices, sometimes hard, sometimes hopeful. About how to stretch limited dollars across unlimited needs. And it means a nation still wrestling with how to honor its promise to those who came before. The debate over pensions will not end this month. Questions about sustainability, fairness, and adequacy will continue to echo in Parliament and across kitchen tables alike. But as Canadians watch their accounts on September 24th and 27th, the reality is clear, these payments are more than policy, they are dignity in action. And for every senior opening their mailbox or logging into online banking this month, the message is the same, you are not forgotten. This is your share of a promise made long ago. Whether it is enough, that remains the question. But at least, for September, there is something to hold on to. The pension checks of September may not change the course of history. But they change lives. And in the quiet transactions of those 3 days, a story unfolds. Of resilience, of sacrifice, and of the ongoing struggle to ensure that aging in Canada does not mean aging in fear, but aging with dignity.